Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending the time you will come across this video. Today is Thursday, the 22nd day of February 2024. I'm here in the studio with Gael Johnson, a South African author. He's the author of AfroDemocracy, the New African Order. In the past 1 week, 60 House of Representative members, they came and bring a bill that Nigeria should return to the parliamentary system of government. And you told us that the presidency is against the people. And now, these people, in their bill, it does not necessarily just want to stop the presidency. They said they want to return Nigeria to the regional government, and they want Nigeria to adopt the Republican Constitution of 1960, but subject to amendment. And in their bill they are proposing, they want Nigeria not just to return to the regional government, but the power must return to regionalism, where people will manage their resources, have their own police, and so on and so forth. And that will render presidency powerless. But something else came into my thought. I said, there was a man, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. This man, before he now take his own agitation to secession, he started by telling us that we need to return Nigeria to regional government. He was asking questions like, why do we not have seaports in our area? Why is it that federal government is marginalizing us? Why is it that federal government is not bringing infrastructure in our area? Why? So all these questions led to his quest for secession. So coming to look at how these people are now dancing to his tune, do you think that at the end, that the government of Nigeria, or if not for the government, the legislatures and so many people will now align back to what Nnamdi Kanu has been telling us? And why did you tell us before that the presidency is against the people? Because it seems that your own idea and these people's idea are coming together now. I'm talking about 60 houses of representative members coming out. And that was for the very first time. There were 60. We don't know how many of them will join this movement of stopping the presidency and forming a regional government through the constitutional amendment. So tell us, why do you say the presidency is against the people? That is number one. Then the second question, do you think that at the end, these people will now come to align with Nnamdi Kanu's idea of regionalism or secession and so on and so forth? You are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Okosha, for this opportunity on this 22nd day of February. First of all, AfroDemocracy, the New African Order, it is a lifetime book, I can say, a lifetime book for whoever with a black skin, with a black skin. So it's a book that is coming from the depths of Africa. You know, I went far in order to write that book. As I keep saying, whoever will fall, let him fall. Whoever will rise, let him rise, provided that the black race is free. Now, we're talking about the presidency, Mr. Okosha. I keep saying that all African presidents are illegitimate. We don't elect them no matter what. The system is rigged. It is fraudulent. It is manipulated. It is not under the control of the black man, you and me are. We are not controlling all that. Now, all they have to do is that, as you keep saying in Africa, for a thief to enter your house, there must be someone within the house who open the door to let him in. So they have to put someone in power who will make everything easy for them to come in. And that person is the president of the republic, that I don't feel comfortable calling president, but brother, due to the fact that he's black like me. So let it be a black man so that it would be black on black, but it's not us, it's black on black, but behind that, it is the white man. The presidency is established against us. When we talk about the land being confiscated, who's confiscating the land? They say that is the government property. It is the government asset. So it is the government confiscating the land from us. But who established the government is the white man. So indirectly, it is the white man who's confiscating the land from us through the presidency. So in the same way as well, when we look at why Kanu was campaigning about the secession of Biafra, questioning why there are no infrastructures in Biafra, it's simply because, as I've said it, and I've seen it so far in Africa, the hostile tribe, the hostile region, the hostile territory to white men or to the neo-colonists never got any support from the government. It is
Sure.
left out, like in the way, no development, poor education, poor infrastructures, because they take you as hostile, like too clever or ready to stand up for your own right, and they don't want you to be in that situation. They don't want you to be free that way. So they have to make sure that you get nothing. You suffer the most, you hate yourself, you hate your land, you pay your staff and go. That is the fake right there. So when there are no infrastructures in Biafra, like brother Kanu was coming out saying about it, it's not because the president is that black man sitting there doesn't want to do that, but it's because the owner of the president, the owner of the presidency, the employer of the president, who is just the employee in the name of the president, he's the one not wanting all those infrastructures to be built on those lands, in those regions whatsoever. It is a dream, like I said in the previous video. It is the dream of the neo-colonists, of which we are not a dreamer. So whenever we try to change that, we will fail. Now, in order to answer whether this federal government will align itself with this idea of regionalism or whatsoever, I doubt that. I doubt that, because even though the government is made of black people like me and you, but that government is not established for us. They are there to carry out the mandate of the neo-colonists. So it is not easy for them to align with an ideology that is going against the neo-colonists. It's not easy for them. What I can see further, it's either the moment they will align themselves to do that, there must be a revolution that will bring a sudden change within the situation. Not like in an orderly manner, because in an orderly manner, there will be disturbance to make the process fail. Because whenever we do that, we have infiltrators within the government. We have people with dual citizenships there within the government. We have the embassies in our countries. All of those are there to watch any move that we want to do that go against the neo-colonists. The embassies are there to spy on us, nothing else.
Okay.
So it's not an easy process for them to align with us.
All right. I understand what you are saying very well. But at this point that we are in Nigeria, maybe because you are from South Africa and you live in South Africa, you don't really know what is going on in so many parts of the northern and the western African countries, especially Nigeria. People are fed up. We have gotten to the point of Rubicon. That is the point of no return. People are already tired of the system. Not only the masses, not only the citizens, including the so-called leaders who have been the causes of the problem that is going on. Now, I understood that if they want to return Nigeria into regional government and so on and so forth, that they will encounter a lot of challenges. They will encounter a lot of saboteurs who will come maybe from Britain influence, the presidency influence, to make sure they stop it so that we will remain the way we are. But the question is, even the person that could influence that is still suffering. The person that could still influence that, someone who could stand against this bill now currently, is also afraid of his life, because he's afraid of kidnappers, he's afraid of high assassins, because everyone in Nigeria, their life is in danger as I speak to you. The inflation is there, the food scarcity is there, so something is going on and the revolution has started. So I believe that these people are doing this because they are seeing that they can't return from Abuja, go to their village. Day before yesterday, a food truck of food was transporting goods from one state to the another. In Castina, a whole truck was hijacked. The mob, loot the whole goods. They cut away with goods. This is not a crime. It is hunger. For you to know the level, how things are now in Nigeria, this is not a crime. No police less than more. This is hunger. The other day, the governor of Niger State is a state in the middle belt in Nigeria, northern middle belt. So the governor said that there is no one that is permitted into the state any longer to buy food, because the food they are producing, they have to store it because they perceive hunger. They perceive starvation coming to Nigeria. Perceive what we are not even seeing now. Because the insecurity in Nigeria, come to talk about the banditry, the Fulani herdsmen, it has gotten to a point where farmers can no longer go to farm. And that has affected the output. People are no longer farming. So, if people are no longer farming, you understand the demand and supply. The demand is high, but there is no supply. So, when you put all these things apart, the Nigerian government is owing a lot of debt. We can't service our debt. We can't pay back our debt. So Nigeria, as it stands now, is just sitting on a time bomb waiting to explode. So these people, they want to save themselves. That is why they are taking the measure, and that is why they want to do everything possible. Because if they return to their village, people will capture them. People might stone them. People will not give them time to escape their home. So they are now afraid to travel home. So they want to do something that people will see that, oh, okay, these people, they understand what is going on. Okay, they are fighting for us. That is what I perceive, I myself. Do you think that these people will allow maybe Britain's influence or any other influence to stop them when they are seeing that they do this or they go home and die? Do you think that they will succumb?
Well, in the context of Afro-democracy, I keep saying that the presidency is the main enemy we have in Africa. The issue of Nigeria, even though I'm not there, but I've been, of lately, and what's going on. You see, now we take the context of our African countries into two when it comes to interest serving. Now, there's the interest of the people, and there's the interest of the owner of the presidency.
Okay.
The neo-colonists, I can see right here. Now, the more the people are suffering, the neo-colonists really suffering because his interests are really served when the people, the citizens of that particular country in Africa are suffering. So we can suffer, however, we can go through this hardship, however, but as long the neo-colonies is having interest served and protected, it doesn't matter. Now, what will stand against that? It is the presidency. As I keep saying, for a black man to be nominated as a president, he must have a record. So he'll be put between two contexts whereby, like, here's a pillar, there's a post. What to do? You serve the one, make sure that their interests are protected, and we don't prosecute you for your crimes. You stand with your people, we come after you. He's there at the center. Now, the only way these people will, on the pressure of the people, to have this change, socio-political change in the country, is when they don't feel any danger coming after them, not from the people, but from the presidency, or from the power that established that presidency. They are not afraid of the people, but they are afraid of the master they've been serving in the government. They don't serve the president, serve the people. They serve the people who establish the system right there. So if a certain minister decides to align himself with whatever Brother Kanu started preaching, you will see the way he will suffer in all the ways, like they will expose him, he will go broke, many things. They'll just destroy him right there. But who will do that? The law they put in the country. And who brought that law in our country, on our lands? It's the very same entity that established the presidency. So they knew that there will be a time they will rise. Let there be a certain law that will pin them down. So we are in a context whereby it's not easy for the presidents today just to stand up and say, okay, I'm going to support the people. I'm going to align myself with them. Either they'll kill him, or there'll be a sudden coup, commentated by the West, or he'll just face this kind of humiliation that the one who come after him will never doing something like that. So, that is the kind of fear they put in our minds as black leaders. It is for that reason, during the campaign, they can say one thing, but the moment elected, they change. Now, it's not that Mr. Tinubu doesn't see what's going on in the country. Even now, if he was a free man within himself, he could say, like, I'm stepping down, take the power back. He could say that. He'll have excellent benefits. The pension will be there. And most of those presidents, they always steal public money, so he might be a billionaire already from the public funds. So he has nothing to lose. But why is still pretending as if he's not seeing what is going on in the country? It's simply because he's not there to serve the people who are suffering by the West. So for that matter, I keep putting at the center that our issues in Africa start from the presidency. The presidency is foreign to us. That is the West in our country. And it's such unfortunate because that is the highest structure of the country. So we are not being led by the black man we put there. First of all, we don't put him. He's nominated by the people who established the presidency in our country. So we are not just going to like that unless it starts from the presidency and the president himself. Provided he's given that guarantee that he'll be protected, as I said in our previous videos. He'll be protected not from us, but from the West. Their worst enemy is not the people they left in the village. Their worst enemy is the West.
Wow.
That is what they're afraid of. Not afraid of the people in the village. Not that.
In your book, The AfroDemocracy, the New African Order, you talk so much on Africans having their own ways of leadership.
Yeah.
Recently, you heard what happened about the juntas in West Africa. I'm talking about the military leader of Burkina Faso, Nnamdi, and Niger Republic.
Yeah.
That they quit ECOWAS.
Yeah.
And these people together are now forming a confederation. You know what that means? They want to be in one country.
Yeah.
These people have taken steps. Day before yesterday, they issued a statement giving timeline from this month to next 3 months to quit using CFA, which is the France-dominated currency in these colonial, they call them Francophone countries.
Yes.
Yeah. So I see that these people, they really need for their people. Niger was second poorest country in the world before the military come. Clavis, as I speak to you today, Niger is the fastest growing economy in Africa. What magic happened? So when you are talking this against the people, I am beginning to understand every day more clearer because I'm seeing the evidence. I'm seeing what is going on. I'm seeing what is happening. So now, France used to buy, I think, 8 cents per kilo of gold, something like that, of which they are selling almost 110 euros now. You see the difference? So these people coming together to form one country, do you think it is a game changer, or they just want to form a country so that they will have a military power to protect themselves, or do you really think that this is born out of the love they have for their people?
Well, Mr. Okocha, it's something right. It's a game changer, but I foresee danger in the future, in the way that a leader, be it the General Chani of Niger, or Colonel Assimi Goïta of Mali, or Captain Traoré of Burkina Faso, us as Africans, like you started in this context, that we have our ways of leadership. So whether we like it or not, I have to say it out, whether we like it or not, there are people, there are some ethnicities, some tribes in those countries whereby there are individuals who are certainly not in the same book as those leaders. Whether we like it or not, there are some individuals whereby when they sit, they ask themselves questions: why him? Why that ethnicity? Why that tribe and not us? So those people of the confederation talking about Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, those leaders must put in their minds that no matter what they do, they have enemies from within their countries, not because they're doing bad things, but just because we have these cultural differences that I don't recognize you as mine, provided that, by the fact that we are not speaking the same dialect. And when you come with that leadership mind over my land, you are a stranger, like it or not. We are Africans. So African president carry on doing that in the name of the republic, in the name of, a changed world, but we try to forget our roots, that if enough, I'm an Igbo, I'm not entitled to lead the Yoruba land, for example, because my ancestors are not from there. But in the name of the republic, I'll try. That is where we have the opposition from within. Now, I will talk about the leader of Burkina Faso. How many coups were aborted all these days? Do you think those were white people? No, they were black people from within the country. And if we condemn,
but I perceive it was France that sponsored the coup. I perceive it was France that sponsored the coup.
France, yes, but behind a black man. It's always like that.
Yeah.
In the same way, United Kingdom is the one leading Nigeria behind Brother Tinubu. So, in the book AfroDemocracy, I want to open the eyes of the people to stop seeing that leader in front of you, as black as he is, as being the main leader. No. There is this Western behind him. So the people who came for that coup, they are black, but there's a Western country behind them. So why black people came and stood up against their own black leader? There's a cultural difference that as Africans, we've been tending to ignore because we are developed, a changed world whatsoever, we are educated. No, we have our ways of leadership. That's why Brother Obasanjo, the leader, the former leader of Nigeria, as you know, came out and said AfroDemocracy, that will align itself with our African values. Because if we ignore those values, we will keep failing no matter what. Now, you say that Niger is the fastest growing economy right now. I really appreciate that. We really like that. But what is it that they are doing that Muammar Gaddafi didn't do for Libya? What is it that they are doing that Nelson Mandela didn't do for South Africa? So where is Libya today? And where is South Africa today? That is the question we have to ask ourselves, that no matter what they do, provided that we don't go back to the root of our perdition, we will fail no matter what. 10 years will go, 20 years will go, we'll be fighting, but there will be a day that very same person will come from a certain ethnic group and remind you that you are not as I am. We're different.
Yeah.
And with the support of the world, that will be the collapse of the country right there. So I
understand what you are saying very well. Yeah. You see, this issue of Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, this Russian President Vladimir Putin still talks about it till tomorrow, still regrets till tomorrow. And he's still asking questions till tomorrow. Why did you people kill Muammar Gaddafi? Now, when Ibrahim Traore, that was October last year, on 25th day of October, Ibrahim made a statement. There were a group of journalists who were asking him, this one that you are aligning with Russia, with North Korea, with this, with that,
you are aligning with as well,
Yeah. They asked him, he said he knows, not that he wants those people to come and help him administrate. But the reason why he's doing that he don't want to die the way Gaddafi died. He said he understood that Gaddafi meant well his people in Africa. He meant well for the Burkina Faso. But he said that he knows that France is against him. He said he knows that America is against him. He said he knows that Britain is against him. And he said he knows that ECOWAS. He said the only thing he wants to do so that he will not die like Gaddafi is to now align with those people who are against him to establish what they want to establish. Thereafter, they will let them go. But the problem is, will it be possible after these people must have helped you, protect you from France and so on? Then at the end, how will you let them go? As I speak to you, Russia is already building a nuclear power in Burkina Faso. It's this problem. So now, what that we should do to have it entirely? Because I see that is a different from Biafra agitation. Nnamdi Kanu is very intelligent, to be honest with you. Nnamdi Kanu is not aligning with any country like
that. AfroDemocracy right there. I didn't align myself, my ideology with any Western country. We have to separate from them right away. No,
you understand? Because
no feelings.
Because it could have been easier for Nnamdi Kanu to persuade Britain will be under you because he's a citizen.
Yeah.
And not just a citizen, he's very influential because his father is also a traditional ruler.
Mm-hmm.
He's very influential, he's very powerful. So he could have had his ways to do what he wants to do. He's a very good friend to the Prime Minister of Israel. Many heads of state, he knows them, but he don't align with them in his struggle for the actualization of Biafra. And that is why nobody is putting him out.
You can't feed the devil and walk free.
Yeah, nobody is putting him out in his detention because he don't have agreement with these people. According to him, he came to have freedom. Either he's alive or he died in the process. But he said his main purpose is, even though he is dead, one day let Biafrans be free and let their freedom be natural. He was talking about before British came to Africa. We were existing. So why do we need Britain to have our freedom again when we already had it without them? Mm-hmm. And there is this Nnamdi Kanu. I encourage you to listen to so many things he said. That man, there is no Western countries that are running Africa that will like that man. Because the man,
we don't want to be liked by the West as well.
I don't know the kind of wisdom God gave the man. Now, there is something he said that people are not interested. He said that when they were writing the Bible, when they were writing stories about Africa, they were writing history about God and all those things, that they excluded Africa because of their own intention. They believe that these Africans, they are slaves, they are not tanned, they are not this. But when they came to Africa, they went to the Oba of Benin Palace. They saw a bronze and they tested the bronze, that the bronze is 3,000 years old. That has contradicted their own history. So these people were building bronze, we were building gold, even before Jesus Christ came. We did not write anything about it. So we cannot just continue to keep our history without taking the bronze. That was why they looted the artifacts, looted the gold, not that they needed it. They have to loot it so that there will not be evidence of civilization. They now begin to tell stories that these people are slaves. Let us use them. Let us buy them. They conquer our territory. These are the messages that the West don't want to hear from Nnamdi Kanu. Now, Nnamdi Kanu is still asking one question, because recently, Britain, Germany, Belgium, they started bringing back all those artifacts and all those gold, bronze that they stole many years ago. The question Nnamdi Kanu is now asking, who tested what they are bringing back? Is this the same thing with what they took? Because these people, they have a purpose why they took it. They want to counter the history of Africa. All those bronze, they are the history of Africa. All those bronze, if you want to say that before Jesus Christ came, Africa has been administrating themselves, do you have the proof? All those bronze is something that has the history and culture of the people. So they have to seize, so that they can seize the history of Africa. So Nnamdi is someone that opens the mind of people and emancipates them. That is the reason why the West hate him.
No matter what, we have to stand together with the likes of Nnamdi Kanu, with the likes of all those Ibrahim Traore's leaders, whatsoever, Julius Malema, all those kinds. But by doing that, we don't need any backup from a non-African country. We don't need that. Why I keep saying that? Because even in the context of AfroDemocracy, I didn't call any statement whereby we have to be supported by an external country. I only say that in the way by just like when the revolution, when that coup, that brought Ibrahim Traore to power, when it happens, at first perhaps you need the support of a certain country, like the way they did with Russia. But let it not be like on a long term, like over a year, 2 years, 3 years. No. That is way too much, because the longer they stay in the country, how are you paying them? The longer they stay in the country, how are they getting their benefits? Like, that's the thing. So we are putting a rope around our neck. Now, the main purpose, like you're saying, that he said he doesn't want to die as Muammar Gaddafi, is simply because he's afraid of his life. In the context of AfroDemocracy, I already said that we don't need a leader of one, leadership of one above any other, because the moment he's taken out, he's also taken out with his ideology. You see, Muammar Gaddafi is gone with his ideology. Libya is not the way it was before. So in the same way as well, I don't wish misfortune on them, but if one of them is taken out, even that confederation can still collapse. It can still collapse. That's what I'm saying. The dream, it's just temporary. So we don't need such. Why is it temporary? Because we are ignoring the root of our leadership. The model of leadership we had before the white man came in. There was nothing as the king from far north ruling over a certain tribe that is far south. There's a king there in the south, there's a king there in the north. So they have the limit of their territory, and they love and respected each other due to the fact that we're all blacks. That's it. But here came the presidency, and it's a leader coming from a northern region, ruling over the entire country like Nigeria in the name of the presidency. Therefore, he still has this root within himself that I belong to a certain ethnicity. So I will do much favor to the people I'm sharing the same dialect with, and neglecting the people who are far from his tribe. Now, what comes next is this kind of revolution we're seeing, the protests we're seeing all over. We're feeling like people are being left out economically, socially. There's hunger here, there's this and that. There's poor education here and there, lack of medication in hospitals. So who's causing all that? If it's, first of all, the worst, who's owning the presidency? But I would say, above all, it's also the fact that we don't see each other due to the fact that we are not from the same root. That is as Africans. I will give you an example. If today you meet a Nigerian brother abroad, he's from Nigeria. Hello, hello. He'll ask you, you're from Nigeria? I'm from Nigeria. It won't stop there. He'll ask you, where? From Biafra. From Biafra? Where? Hey. Igbo. Igbo land, how does it? How many questions did he ask you to be satisfied whatsoever? But if you meet an American citizen, you'll just say, I'm from America. It's not right there. So why is it with us Africans, you have to take your mind to the main land of origin of that African brother? Because that is where we owe our citizenship. We don't owe our citizenship in the name of Nigeria. We owe our citizenship in the name of our land of origin. And when you are elected or not elected, when you are nominated as president, you will give more privilege to your land of origin. You see? That is why when it is a president who is from Yoruba land, Yorubas are now, partying, it's us in power. When it is from a certain Fulani tribe or Fulani, so how many tribes in a country? So how many of us would like to become a president? We have to break that presidency. Look, there's nothing more frustrating when I think about Africa than the presidency. And it is so blind of us to say that we can change the situation of our country by going through the presidency. It is a lie. It is why I got it short. Whether it's the presidency, whether it's the prominent leader of the opposition, no one will bring about change in our countries. Because the presidency they want to reach and lead from does not belong to us. It does not. So African presidents or African politicians will make names, they will go famous, but at the end, are they resolving issues of Africans? It's a no. Pan-Africanism has been there for decades, but they're still failing. When there's a rise of a Pan-Africanist in power, just after a short while, he's taken out. They've been there for a while, but they still don't understand why is Pan-Africanism failing. They are failing because they want to lead from the presidency. They want to lead from a dream. They are not a dreamer. That is where they are failing. If Pan-Africanism want to succeed, they have to come up with their own system. They have to come up with their own political system that is not Western, but it is totally from Africa. And the West will feel itself foreign towards that system. They will look for ways to come in, and they will not be allowed in because it is not from their thinking. But the moment we want to do it from a kind of ideology that was taught by the white man, that is where we are failing because it's not from us. When are African politicians going to wake up and understand what I'm saying here, that they cannot change African countries from the presidency? It's a lie. It's a lie. So for the leader of Burkina Faso saying that he doesn't want to die as Colonel Gaddafi, simply accepting, simply acknowledging that the issue was so bad about Muammar Gaddafi, in the way that when you show yourself as a leader above many others, you are in danger whatsoever. So we don't want to lose him. We don't want to lose Assimi Goïta. We don't want to lose even Bada Tinubu. But in the same way, we don't want them to be in the presidency as well, because that is where they get killed. That is where they get eliminated. Let them come up the presidency and they will still alive. Let them come up with the council, whereby all of them will come together and put their ideas together. Whoever will not go along with the ideas, they take him out. Let them put some laws in place. It's still possible without the presidency.
Okay, I want to ask you
and
this.
Without the backup of the West or non-African countries. We don't need that order.
Yeah, all right. Recently, as I told you earlier, that 60 House of Representative member, that is the Lower Legislative Chamber in Nigeria, I told you they came with, a bill for constitutional amendment that will stop the presidency, which will give room for the parliamentary system of government.
I like it because they want to stop the presidency. That is the danger of Africa.
All right. Before, Nigeria had a prime minister in the person of Tafawa Balewa. And then Nnamdi Azikiwe was just the ceremonial president.
Much better for him.
Yeah, he was the president, but ceremonial. In other words, they have stripped power from that name, president, like this kind of president we are having today. And I like that. But does that really solve all the whole problem that we are having today? In the sense that actually we want the power to be returned to the people. I used to tell people that, yes, president, as you see Tinubu in Aso Rock, Abuja in Nigeria, he don't really know what is going on in so many villages. Despite we have governors, we have local government chairman, but you spoke the truth when you said that presidency is all about tribe. Because when Tinubu is the president, the Yoruba people rejoice. Though I saw so many people from Yoruba now, they are protesting because of the hardship. Because hunger knows no tribe, hunger knows no religion, hunger knows no ethnicity. But however, when Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the former president of Nigeria, was the leader of Nigeria as the president, people from his tribe, I think they were happy. When Buhari was the president, the Northerners were complaining. The people, you understand? So we have to deal with this issue of tribalism. And that is why I am thinking and suggesting that until we return the power to tribes, to our traditional rulers, not just the traditional rulers anyway, but let us return power back to the people. I know when I speak like this, people will say we have councillors, we have local government chairman. Forget about it. Those people, they don't have any power in Nigeria. Even so many governors don't allow local government chairman to function. Until we strip power away from president and governors, those people cannot have and manage their own power. Because councillors, local government chairman, all these people, they don't have say. They are mute. Because if president speaks, recently, I told you the issue that was happening in Rivers State, where the former governor, Nyesom Wike, and the Cuban governor, Sem Fubara, was having issues. The president intervened. He just called them. This is how it is going to be. This is how it's going to be. Full stop. That is what we're talking about. The power of the presidency. That power needs to be stripped off. So I am in support with that proposition by the 60 House of Representative members.
Let them go forward about that.
Yes, because it is better. That will solve the issue of secession in the country. It will solve the issue of marginalization. It will solve so many issues. Because
and also the influence of the West in the country.
It will reduce the influence of the West.
That's the way.
Yes, it will reduce the influence.
Outside of Africa will come back home. We tell them to suffer in those Western countries.
Yes, exactly. And not only that, I told you earlier that every agitation in the country, including that of Sunday Igboho, Nnamdi Kanu, and so on and so forth, when I study the genesis of those agitations, despite there have been agitation from Biafra even before I was born, but I'm talking about the recent ones. So these people, they were coming from the angle of this is what the government is supposed to do. We are being marginalized. Why we don't have seaport? Why we don't have this? Why we don't have that? That was how the agitation grew. And all these things they are saying, they have right to say it. They have right to demand it. Because they are feeling that, it's since we don't belong, because our people has never been president. That is what they are saying. And Igbo man has never been president.
This is what I'm saying as well.
That is what we are hinting at.
Everyone wants to be there to feel recognized. That is why we are having internal conflict, because we are fighting all around a common structure of power. So why? Who put us in that condition? It's the white man, so that he can control us so easily. They will choose which tribe is hostile. Those ones will never become president. Which ones are, sell out. So those ones we can put them there because, easily they can get instructions from us and so on. So here as well, we have to stand up and understand that the power in
but
the presidency,
not only the presidency.
Yeah.
There are other tools that I discovered. Like recently on Channels Television, the human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Fandana, he was talking about why Nigeria should quit being a member of IMF, the International Monetary Fund, that they shouldn't take advice from those people because it's not helping us. And the man was talking about, we are using Naira to do our transactions, including internal transaction and international transaction. What happens to our Naira? That was when he now brought the idea of Nigeria joining the BRICS, so that we can use our currency to start trading and so on and so forth. So this Western influence does not stop at presidency, but unfortunately, a lot of people are not aware. A lot of people don't even understand what we are talking about when we talk about Britain still in charge of Nigeria, France being, in charge of all those Francophone countries. Because these people have their mechanism, they have their rules, they have everything they use to manipulate your economy and your system. So I think it is time for Nigeria to begin to think. It is not late. Anytime we start going back to our root, I think it will be our money. Because if we don't do, the next generation, the next two generations, they will still come and begin to experience what we're experiencing today. And that time, it might be too late, and of which we don't want.
As long as the system will be there, they will face the same situation we're facing.
That is it. So
They will face worse than this.
It is a system problem. And lastly, what I want to chip in here is, I used to tell people that our leaders, the weakness of our leaders, the incompetence of our leaders is not as we think. There is a system problem. We don't have incompetent leaders. We have a system problem. People are yet to understand. I know that, yes, this system led so many things. This system has given them enough power for them to waste our resources, embezzle money, and do so many things. But when you think into the root, it is the system. Because if they don't have the system, imagine if the president is not in charge of so many things today. How will they see the money? If someone else, if a traditional ruler is paying the president cannot wake up and spend billions on importing SUVs. Who sent you? But the constitution, the system, gave him the power. So I understood that we must begin to remove ourselves from this system. That is why I am applauding this House of Representative members. Last month I told you how I wrote two of them and their responses. Look at now, we are seeing progress about it. So I'm very happy about that. So in your context, the AfroDemocracy, the New African Order. Because that's your book. How I wish everyone who is from Africa, we have to read it, because the book is for Africans. It's for Africans. Everyone can read the books. Everyone from around the world can read the book. But the book is to solving the problem in Africa. If we can understand that the power belongs to the people, that we should just decode the power to the people, return the power to the people. Let us begin to recognize our traditional rulers again and give them the role to play. If we take Nigeria back to regional government, for example, I will even suggest that traditional rulers should be like the parliaments. Let them be like members of the parliaments. The reason why I'm saying this is that
they've been like that in early days of the Republic of Nigeria. They were traditional leaders. I've read that in the history of Nigeria, who were in the government. They were ministers. They were traditional leaders. So in time, they sidelined them. They took them out for one reason, because they are afraid of the influence they can exert on the people. That's it.
You are right. Because it is only the traditional rulers that cannot fold his hand and say his people suffer. Because the beauty of a king is his people. If your people are hungry, you are hungry as a king. But a politician,
he's the one giving the meaning to that land.
Yes. But a politician, his power is to make you poor so that you will depend on him. It is totally opposite. That is
Western
why
ideology brought to us. So we don't need to be politicians, actually. We need to be
exactly.
leaders. That's it.
Exactly.
Not politicians. For what?
Wow. Well, thank you, viewers, for listening. Clavis Gael Johnson is a South African author. He's the author of AfroDemocracy, the New African Order. He has an idea that we don't have to ignore. His idea is that the Western democracy is not for Africans. It is not working for us. And we have the evidence.
We call
the
it
evidence is
Western
everywhere.
democracy. We are not Westerners. That's simple.
we are not Westerners. But, you know, apart from the word Western democracy, I'm talking about the reality. It is not working. That is just the reality. It is not working because there have been, you know, retrogression from the time we gain independence. There have been retrogression. Everything is getting worse every day. It is time for us to start asking questions. And some of the answers I've gotten so far, the solution is in this, your idea of Afro-democracy, the New African Order, where we will define what democracy means to us. We can't have a leader and we said democracy is the government of the people. Your people is not leading you. By the people, you are not the one that elect them. They folded your hands at the back and choose who to become leader through the influence of Britain and so on and so forth. And they said it is by the people. Then the last definition of democracy, it is for the people. The leaders are not for us. If they are for us, there will be evidence. If they are for us, they will not send their children abroad to school and they will pay, you know, they will not even take care of the healthcare, the education in Nigeria.
It was for the people, taking into account what's going on in Nigeria. Should have stayed down.
You understand? And they will never allow themselves and their children to take part of the system. I did a video that was 2 days ago. I was talking about Nigerian politicians like Nnamdi and the rest of them. They don't believe in Nigeria. The reason why I said they don't believe in Nigeria, Nnamdi don't have a doctor in Nigeria. He don't go to Nigerian hospital.
I'm not stopping
a president.
Nigeria is just a dream. Nigeria is just a dream of the neo-colonists. How can you believe
you understand?
You're not a dreamer.
A minister of health that does not go to government hospital, is that a minister? How can you be a minister of health? Your children don't patronize government hospital. How can you be a commissioner of education? Your student, your children don't go to public institution. You are a minister of education. Your children don't go to Nigerian universities. We are deceiving ourselves.
That's it.
We are deceiving ourselves.
We are being deceived to
so it's not gonna work.
No, that's not true.
So I really thank you for this idea. This idea worth it. And we'll continue to spread this good news of Afro-democracy, the New African Order, until we get to this route. It is very good we play our part. It works, it did not work. The right thing to do is for us to play our part. And I believe that it's going to work. It is going to work. So when it works, we'll continue to explore our values, because we lost our values because of democracy. We lost our values anytime we try to align with the Western value. Look at our judiciary. Our judiciary is no longer working because that is not our judicial system. If somebody go and swear an oath, somebody will go there and they will swear, I am the president today, he swear allegiance, it doesn't work. But give him a juju to swear. The person will not shake, the person will not sing, the person will not lose money. The person will not do anything bad because you gave him something from his culture that he's afraid of.
He knows the effect.
He knows the effect. With all these things, what are we doing? The reason why the marriages are not lasting today is because we have aligned ourselves to Western marriage of wedding, doing the white wedding, the white culture wedding. When we started that, our marriage began to fail. Africans don't have history of failed marriages before the colonial system came. So there are so many things we have to think, but we have for the past 60 years departed from our culture, and it's so bad. I will leave the link of this book, Afro-Democracy, the New African Order, on the description section. Please get the book. It's worth your money. It's worth your time. You will not regret buying. And I assure you, you can't finish reading the book without referring it to another person. It is very important. So, Clavis Gael Johnson, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you for your message. And I believe we'll continue to dream and to work towards a better Africa. So see you on our next book rise. I hope you will have time to grant our interview next time.
Anytime. Thank you.